You followed every rule. You got the grades. You went to university. You did exactly what you were told. But instead of the success you were promised, you feel like you are constantly falling behind. Society calls millennials entitled or lazy. But psychologists see the truth. You aren't lazy. You are suffering from a collective trauma called the good child syndrome. To understand the millennial brain, you have to look at how it was programmed. Unlike Gen X, who were raised with benign neglect, millennials were raised with hyper-focus. You were the first generation of the participation trophy. But critics get this wrong. They think it gave you big egos. Actually, it gave you performance anxiety. From a young age, you learned a dangerous equation. Love equals achievement. Your worth was tied to your output, the gold stars, the report cards, the gifted and talented programs. You were praised for your potential, not your personhood. Psychologically, this creates a state of conditional self-worth. You learned that you are only good as long as you are succeeding. If you stop achieving, you stop mattering. So you run, and you keep running, because stopping feels like dying. This brings us to the defining mental state of this generation: high-functioning anxiety. On the outside, you look fine. You meet deadlines. You pay bills. You show up. But on the inside, your nervous system is vibrating. You have internalized capitalism. You feel guilty when you rest. If you sit on the couch for an hour, a voice in your head asks, "Shouldn't you be doing something productive?" Your hobbies turned into side hustles. Your downtime turned into self-optimization. Even your sleep is something you track and score. You are constantly optimizing yourself for a market that doesn't love you back. This isn't ambition. This is a trauma response. It is the fawn response. You are trying to be good enough to be safe in a world that feels increasingly hostile. But the human engine isn't built to run on cortisol forever. Eventually, you hit the wall. We call this millennial burnout. But it's not just about being tired. It is a state of learned helplessness. In the 1960s, psychologists discovered that if you keep shocking a subject no matter what button they press, eventually, they stop trying. They just lie down and take it. Millennials followed the rules, but the reward didn't come. Housing prices doubled. Wages stagnated. The planet caught fire. So, your brain did the only logical thing. It initiated a functional freeze. This is why you doom scroll for 4 hours. This is why you engage in bed rotting. It's not laziness. It is your nervous system forcing a shutdown because the effort to reward ratio is broken. So, how do you heal? You have to break the contract you signed when you were 5 years old. The contract that says you have to earn your right to exist. You need to detach your worth from your work. You are not a project to be optimized. You are not a stock price that needs to go up every quarter. It is okay to be average. It is okay to rest without earning it. It is okay to let the emails sit there. The world might not give you the validation you were promised, so you have to give it to yourself. You are not falling behind, because there is no race. There is just life, and you are allowed to just live it.